Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day to my respected lecturer, Madam Roslina binti Ali. My name is Farah Nabilah binti Muhammad Zaki. I'm from BA 1114A. I hope you are doing well. Before I begin, I would like to say thank you for giving your time and attention for my assignment. Today, I will present about air transportation, focusing specifically on the market in China. Air transportation is the movement of passengers and goods through the air using aircraft like airplanes and drones. It is vital for global trade and tourism because it allows for fast, long-distance travel, especially for high-value or time-sensitive items. China is one of the fastest growing aviation markets in the world, operating under the strict supervision of the Civil Aviation Administration of China, or CAAC. In this presentation, we will explore its main characteristics, advantages, challenges, stakeholders, and a real-world case study. Now, let's look at the main characteristics of air transportation. First, it is much faster than cars, trucks, trains, or ships, making it the best choice when time is short. Second, it has no physical limitations, which make it ideal for reaching distant or remote locations where other transport modes are inefficient. Third, statistics show that airplanes offer the highest level of security, meaning goods arrive in perfect condition and insurance costs are generally lower. Finally, because travel times are short, products spend less time sitting in the warehouses and get to the people who need them much faster. So, like any mode of transport, air travel has its strengths and weaknesses. On the positive side, it offers unmatched speed, requires no money to build physical tracks or roads, and holds great strategic importance for national security. It is also free from physical barriers like rivers or mountains. Can be used in agriculture for pest spraying, and is incredibly useful for rescue operations during natural disasters. However, on the negative side, the operational and ticket costs are very high. A small mistake can be highly dangerous for passengers, and building aviation facilities requires a huge initial investment. Next, let's talk about infrastructure and networks. Infrastructure refers to the physical facilities on the ground. This includes airports and terminals for check-ins, runways and taxiways for flights, and air traffic control towers that use radar to guide pilots and prevent accidents. The network, on the other hand, is how flights are organized in the sky using invisible highways. Airlines usually organize these routes using two models: the hub-spoke model, which routes traffic from smaller airports through a massive central airport, and the point-to-point model, which connects specific cities directly. Moving on to policies. Air transport is regulated by both international and national frameworks. Globally, we follow ICOA for safety standards, IATA for airline operations, and open skies agreements to make international flying easier. Nationally, China is governed by the CAAC. The CAAC is responsible for flight and ground safety. It oversees civil aviation by certifying and inspecting airlines, flight schools, and maintenance centers. It also regulates dangerous cargo, manages aircraft registration, and sets safety standards for airports and flight crews. Now, let's address the key issues and challenges facing China's aviation industry today. The biggest domestic challenge is intense competition with high-speed rail, or HSR. For short and medium trips, passengers prefer bullet trains because they are cheaper, punctual, and stop right in the city center, which takes millions of customers away from airlines. Airlines also face global supply chain delays that make it hard to get aircraft parts from abroad, which slows down repairs and raises costs. Additionally, a sudden rise in commercial delivery drones has crowded the airspace, making air traffic control much harder. Lastly, international travel routes have shifted, and airlines face heavy financial pressure to buy expensive green fuels to reduce carbon emissions. To understand how the industry functions, we must look at the key stakeholders involved. First, we have the government agencies like the CAAC, which create policies and enforce safety rules. Second are the transport operators, including major airlines like China Eastern, China Southern, Air China, and Hainan Airlines, as well as maintenance facilities. Third are the passengers and consumers, who rely on flights for travel and shipping high value goods. Fourth are the environmental groups, pushing for sustainable practices like fuel optimization. And finally, community organizations, representing residents near airports who care about noise control and airport expansions. To look at the case study on the high-speed rail competition, when a new HSR line opens in China, it completely changes travel habits. For trips under 1,000 kilometers, travelers heavily prefer the train because there are no long airport waits, tickets are cheaper, and stations are central. This forces airlines to cut ticket prices or reduce daily flights on those routes. However, this interaction actually helps the overall transportation system. The growth of HSR relieves sky and airport congestion for government agencies. For passengers, it forces airlines to improve their digital tools, upgrade services, and focus on long distance flights where trains cannot compete. Ultimately, this creates a much more balanced and effective transit system for the country. In conclusion, air transportation plays a vital role in China's modern economy by providing unmatched speed, high security, and access to remote areas. While the industry offers great strategic advantages, it faces heavy financial burdens and strict CAAC regulations. It also deals with several competition from the high-speed rail network for short trips. Furthermore, managing crowded skies from delivery drones and meeting strict environmental rules are forcing the industry to change quickly. Ultimately, while air transport faces tough competition, it remains an irreplaceable part of a balanced national transport network. Based on the findings, I suggest two main actions to improve the sector. Number one, airlines need to shift their route focus. They should stop short domestic routes and focus heavily on long distance international flights where trains cannot compete. Airlines must also upgrade services and add better digital booking tools to make flying more convenient. We must modernize radar systems and regulate drone traffic. The CAAC and air traffic control need to upgrade their digital systems to manage drone congestion. By setting clear flight paths and strict rules for drones, we can maintain sky safety and prevent passenger flight delays. Finally, airlines should gradually switch to cleaner planes and sustainable fuel to meet green goals without hurting profits. Thank you. That's all.